Hello and welcome to another episode of the New World Comics Podcast. I'm Buck Berlin, owner-operator of this fine establishment. Joined with me, as almost always, Stephanie Cerny.
Hey.
And running this whole shindig is Brad Reed of Nerds to Men fame.
Blessings.
Hey.
Hey.
He is the voice of God because you can't really see him and it just kind of sounds like it's coming from nowhere.
Yep.
Ooh.
I like it like that. Creepy.
Joined with us this week is Jason Watt.
Hi, how you doing?
Yay! So, Jason, we always kick this off with the, who are you and what do you do?
Those are deep questions.
Yeah.
Who am I? I am I guess you'd say I'm a regular customer here at the shop who just kind of won't go home. I moved to Oklahoma City just shy of 2 years ago. Got recommendations to come to the shop through a very long-time customer and previous guest on the podcast, Jeff Yenzer.
Boo!
I know, he's terrible. Jeff is the worst. No, he's a great guy. Shortly after moving here, I got a new job, and I ended up working at the co-working space that he works out of, and Free Comic Book Day was coming up, and I asked him where to go, and there was not a moment's hesitation. He said I needed to come to New World, as should you all. And that kind of kicked off the journey here. And then what do I do? I've got kind of a really boring to talk about, but yet kind of interesting job. I am a customer relationship manager for a software company based out of Helsinki, Finland. So you've never heard of the company. We're only about 50 people. I'm one of now 10 U.S. employees. But it's really nice because I have kind of weird hours and I really love my job and I get a decent amount of travel in with it too. So
Yeah, because you just came back from what, Poland?
Yeah, I was just in Poland for a week. Let's see, in the last year, just with the company, I've been to Poland, Latvia, Denmark, Spain, Ireland, Finland. That's it with the company.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But it's a lot of fun. I really do dig it, and I have a really kind and understanding boss who laughs out loud when he sees my calendar every week and sees that I've got it blocked off from 11:30 to 1 on Wednesdays, so I can go get my new comic books.
That's awesome.
And he occasionally asks me about what books I'm reading, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, my boss is awesome. He will probably never see this, but if he does, Peter, you're great.
Thank you, Peter.
Yeah, we love you, Peter. Thank you.
See, now
You're
he has
the
to.
best.
Now he has to.
Yeah.
I may just send him a link.
Yeah, well, and you were telling me. I guess before we really dive into things, you have your wall of comics.
Oh yeah. So when we basically my girlfriend and I moved here. Long story short, so she could be a professor at UCO. We moved to Oklahoma and signed a lease before I'd even stepped foot in the state. So we basically just found an acceptable house within the city of Edmond, and it was great. And then the lease was coming up, and we went, ended up buying a house.
Oh, cool.
And so in new house, I have a home office, and I went, I get to decorate my home office, right? And she said, yep. And I said, haha, sucker. And so I have 51 frames of comic books on the wall behind me and a little wrapped around to the side. And that's because it's 45, books that I love and covers that I love. And then on the side are the books that actually inspired me to do it, which are the Run the Jewels variant homage books that started with like Deadpool, because of course I look like a big hip hop nerd, right? So, so of course those Run the Jewels kind of hip hop variants inspired me. So I've got those off to the side, along with a special release they did, where it's an album that they put out in conjunction with Marvel, and it has Marvel characters in a lineup on the cover. And so that's kind of my background when I'm on video calls with customers, which is super fun. Because about 1 out of every 3 calls, somebody will be like, are those comic books? Or my favorite, they never ask, like, oh, is that Superman? Is that Green Lantern? It's always, is that Moon Knight? And yeah, I'm a huge Moon Knight fan. And I thought there were only like 3 of us.
No, it's a small but like steady fan base.
Yeah, it's
like everyone that that enjoys Moon Knight is like hardcore about Moon Knight.
I've kind of got the feeling it's like Rocky Horror Picture Show, where like if you're into it, you're not a little into it.
You're like full on into it.
That is a very astute observation.
Like if you like Moon Knight, oh man,
Yeah.
you're singing it loud and proud. You're more than willing to dress up in drag if you were a Rocky Horror Picture Show fan.
Yeah.
No, I got to tell you the day when Marvel finally announces a Moon Knight show, I live roughly 15 miles from the shop.
Yep.
And Buck will hear my cries of joy.
Yeah. It'll be you and Jimmy just like,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
harmonizing.
Absolutely. But it does crack me up because they always hone in on. I've got there's a Marvel Spotlight 32.
Yeah.
And then Moon Knight 1 on the wall. I don't have a Werewolf by Night because I have a car, and I think you only get to have either one or the other.
I mean, the season of hunting is upon us. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, if you find something for less than the cost of a mid-sized sedan, we can talk.
I mean, it depends on the shape of this sedan.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, I think I got Jimmy one for like 200, something like that. Like, it's not terrible.
You
But
let me know, buddy.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. It will not be pristine.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm like Tom in the way that I look at, is it pretty? Then I care. Like, I don't care if some kid drew all over the back cover. I'm less. I care way less. Is the front cover nice? If it's got some character, some wrinkles, that happens to the best of us with time.
Yeah.
I don't mind if it happens to my comic books too.
Cool. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. Although now we need to backtrack a little. What actually got you into comics?
So I've had this really weird waveform of being in and out of comics over the years. I vividly remember a few things, and I don't know the chicken and egg of it, but there were 3 events in my youth, and I could probably plot it back based on time. I think it was in order, because I'd been around comic books. Because you're a kid, you're gonna be around comic books.
Hopefully, I mean, there are a lot of kids now that didn't really get that growing up.
That's true. Child abuse runs rampant.
Oh wow!
But I remember going to the bookstore, Crown Books, with my mom, and picking up the trade for Emerald Twilight, and that
the old Green Lantern series.
Yep, exactly. And that was for those of you that aren't Green Lantern nerds but know a little bit about it. That was that arc where Hal Jordan went real bad and basically killed off the Corps. Turns out that made me a Green Lantern fan.
Wow, what an introduction right there.
Because it was a heck of a story.
Yeah. So you must have really loved this last weekend's superhero school.
Yeah. Oh, I did. I really did. I enjoyed the heck out of it. But so there was that, and then there was this really odd thing that would happen in the town that I grew up in, where it was like the first and third Saturday of the month, this warehouse would host a collectibles show.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I would go with my dad, and I could get baseball cards, and I would get magic cards there, and I would get comic books there. And I have this intense memory of being with my dad, walking across the parking lot back to the car, holding The Death of Superman in the Mylar bag, and going like, this is going to be worth something someday. I don't want to open it, but I must know what happens. So I cracked the bag. Turns out I was right. You can use those to line your parrot cage.
They're starting to gain value again.
Yeah, because enough people use them to line their parrot cage. But yeah, so that kind of got me into it, and then, so I was in, and I kind of became a Green Lantern fan, and was definitely on the DC side of things. And then years later, when DC did 1 year later, that's when I happened to get back into it, and so I started with Green Lantern #1, and I actually happened to pick up. It was the first book in my collection. I've got a Jeff Johns signed one of that.
Wow.
And that's on my wall. And that also was when that was also the same time as that great run of Moon Knight with all the art done by Finch.
Yeah.
And those were killer. And then kind of got super into it, and then Blackest Night happened, and I didn't have a great shop. I just had a shop that let me order everything because they were greedy. And so I ordered like all 96 issues that were involved in.
So yeah,
Blackest
whereas
Night.
you needed to read like 50, so about half of that.
Turns out three supplemental issues of Hawk and Dove were not required reading.
Yep.
And well, certainly not that Hawk and Dove.
Yep.
So yeah, I got into that and then got out because of that.
Yeah.
And then a couple of years back, I moved, and when I was living in Boulder, I moved into a condo that had a comic book shop right around the corner. And so I went in and I went, so this is where I'm at in my comic collecting career. And they went, have you heard of Image? And I went, yeah, they make those weird books that nobody reads. And they went, that was true a very long time ago. Now it's fantastic, and it's all, they are as they've always been, this, that, and the other. And so they got me on to Low and Manifest Destiny and Red One, and I picked up Black Science, Sex Criminals, and
Oh wow.
and just great independent books.
Yeah.
And that rekindled my love of comics, which then carried me over into today.
So, what are you reading now that you love?
I don't think I have the biggest pull list in the shop. I think I have I think it's been referred to as pleasantly average sized pull list.
It doesn't matter the size. It's the
It's what you read.
Yeah.
I pull a lot of books and I read a lot of everything.
Yeah.
And I get in and out of everything. But I guess right now what I'm reading that I'm really loving, Hot Shots, which is the extension of Domino, is pretty fun. That one's great. I'm not reading them as floppies. I'm reading them as trades. But the Tom King Batman.
Oh my God, I love it. Yeah.
Tom King could write my mother's obituary, and I would love it. What else am I picking up right now?
You're reading Green Lantern, right?
I'm reading Green Lantern, which is Grant Morrison. Not at his weirdest, but it's delightfully weird.
So I've always thought that Grant Morrison, when he has the right editor, is absolutely one of the greatest writers in all of comics. When he doesn't, it's oh, come on, Grant, you're just being weird for the sake of weird.
What I think he's doing, and I'm not sure if it's to the benefit of the book or the detriment of the book right now, is it's really episodic.
Yeah.
And we've gotten so accustomed to, for years now, these big arcs.
Yeah.
And, at first it was just like, DC's crisis of no more left shoes. And it was Marvel's, oh no, it's a war that nobody cares about.
Yeah.
And then slowly it became everything had to be a big arc. And so I think it is maybe kind of a reaction to that. And I think I like it.
See, I really appreciate it. I miss the standalone issues. Like,
it's fun.
Yeah, and particularly the art of the short story.
Yeah.
Because there's with comics you can kind of gauge how big of a story you want to tell, and in what scale. You can have a sweeping epic in 8 pages if you do it right, or you can have a really small, intimate story over 100 issues.
Absolutely. And don't get me wrong, I love me some Saga.
Yeah.
But I don't always need that. And so, yeah, I think the Grant Morrison run, we'll see. I think I'm enjoying it, and I'm going to withhold judgment until issue 12. I'm going to give it a 1-year run.
Yeah.
Because I love me some Green Lantern. I like what they're doing with it. There was some more promise to it of kind of digging a bit more into kind of the Earthbound side of things that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like it. That's a good one.
It hooked me with Volk.
Volk. Hey, the ambulatory volcano.
Yeah.
Is
it's this big dude with a volcano head, which I didn't catch on at first that they made the smoke plume out of the head have a face.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
it's
man.
great.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the funny one is, for the people that like the weird, the bizarre, like, oh yeah, if you like weird comics, Doctor Strange. If you like stuff that's way out there, like Guardians of the Galaxy, it's crazy. It's like, have you pick a year in the 70s and read 3 issues of Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And see how weird this stuff gets.
Oh man, and well, just anytime that they would tell a story from the core.
Oh man.
Yeah, because the Tales of the Core are
Those are
some
always
of my
great.
favorite Green Lantern stories. Like we just did the Green Lantern superhero school, so all of it's just really close to the surface right now.
Charlie Vickers.
Oh my God, the Charlie Vickers story is
Vickers.
absolutely one of my favorite comics of all time.
Yeah, no, that is, and it's so uniquely like, only the Green Lantern universe could contain that and the F-sharp Bell, and also traditional heroes.
Yeah.
Like otherwise, it would just be too out there.
Yeah, and I mean some of the stories that they would delve into, like when so close to like sword and sorcery, or like look how weird like metal sci-fi this is. Someone treated the ring like this great magical thing, and then they went to a robot planet and like, oh, this is the height of technology,
Exactly.
and they're on the same team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, a couple others that I'm reading right now that I don't want to leave out. Asgardians of the Galaxy.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Cullen Bunn is just writing the daylights out of that.
Yeah, which for those that aren't really reading it, it's all of the Thor supporting cast, villains, heroes, forgotten characters, all kind of lumped into one team.
Yep.
Thrust into space.
Yeah. So I had this conversation because I was at Kansas City Comic-Con, Planet Comic-Con,
Yeah.
a few weekends back. Actually, the weekend before I went to Poland. And I had a chance to thank 2 of the 3 people responsible for my current happiness. Because my favorite weird characters come out of Asgard. And those are Beta Ray Bill,
Yeah.
Throg,
Oh man.
and Thori. And anything with any of those characters, I will buy multiples of. And so Thor Frog, is actually the heavy hitter for the Asgardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And there's one page that I think I'm going to go back and buy another issue of it so that I can cut that page out and frame it on its own.
You might see if you can get the original art.
That'd be worth it.
Yeah.
I'll have to talk to Cullen
Yeah.
and to have him talk to the artist for me. Because it's Throg, who, by the way, speaks only in ribbits and croaks, unless it's an internal monologue. And it's his internal monologue of, someday I will die in glorious battle, and I will go to Froghala, and there will be a goblet of freshly squeezed fly juice, and all of my beloved and my family. But today is not that day. And it's a frog with a Viking hat with flippin' wings on it, and it's perfect.
Yeah. Except on the team Thunderstrike.
Thunderstrike, yes. Thunderstrike Jr.
Oh, yeah,
He's the
yeah.
nephew of Thunderstrike.
Yeah, because the first Thunderstrike was terrible.
Yes. And so for some reason, Thunderstrike 2 can understand exactly. He is to Throg what Rocket Raccoon is to Groot.
Yeah.
He can understand every word that he's saying, and no one knows why. So that's Throg, and then I've got Guardians of the Galaxy with Donny Cates. I haven't had a chance to thank him because Beta Ray Bill is on Guardians of the Galaxy, and that
Yeah.
makes me so happy. And then I've got Thori on the current run of Thor being written by Jason Aaron, which Jason Aaron plus Thor equals good.
Or just Jason Aaron plus comics.
It's true.
Yeah.
I'll write. He's another one. I'll put him right there with Tom King. They're nothing alike, but I will read everything that either of those men write. Because not to count out, Southern Bastards was incredible.
Yeah.
Scalped was monumental. Aaron's run of Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievably good.
Yeah, like it's so unlike the other things that he's done that I forget that he did it.
Yeah.
Just like Wolverine and the X-Men, it's so unlike
Yeah.
all the other things that he's done that I forget. Oh, yeah, that was him.
Yeah.
Holy crap. And then his run on Wolverine, where he progressed the character of Wolverine, because I used to not like Wolverine.
It's a
At all,
Yenzer.
because it was the here's a bad attitude guy that everyone once around, that doesn't work.
Yeah, when you can, when everything you need to know to understand Wolverine is just the sound effect snicked.
Yeah.
Like somebody needs to do something with this.
Yeah. And then, so all of a sudden he found out all about his past and they just kind of left it. So then Jason Aaron took it and thought, okay, why not explore that? Why not, catch up on those things that you just found out about? See where all of that, fits into who you are and what you're doing now.
Yeah.
And why do these awful things keep happening to you? Oh, it's because you were a horrible person way back when.
Yeah, it's because you are human garbage.
Yeah.
Which, you know what, let me an anti-hero.
Well,
But at that point, isn't he just like a good villain?
Well, so what he does over the course of many years, like through the Wolverine run into the Wolverine and the X-Men run, he starts changing as a person.
There we go.
And it's this nice character arc of like Wolverine. Oh, okay, I need to care about this thing.
Yeah.
I need to do this thing. Oh, my friends wouldn't really appreciate this. And yes, I have friends. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, to me, Jason Aaron can really do no wrong.
It's true.
But my favorite thing that he ever did, Weird World.
I know you're a big fan of that.
Oh, my God, I love it. And the fact that he's doing Conan now, it's the, see, guys, see, I told you it was great.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was writing Conan, otherwise it would have been on my pull list.
Pull your, there you go.
Yep, sorry about that.
But yeah, holy crap. Yeah, he's doing Conan now. And I read an interview where he was like, I've been waiting for this moment since I was 13. It's why I got into comics.
There's an interview I saw on YouTube with, and I love that creator, like, background story stuff.
Yeah.
There's a hilarious interview I saw with Donny Cates. And because he was a huge comic book nerd as a kid.
Yeah.
And so his friends would ask him about, like, oh, well, tell me about Venom. And so he would tell them about it. But he was also kind of a weird, mischievous kid. So he would make stuff up. And it wasn't true. But now he's writing Venom. So it's canon.
Yeah, so he's making it true. Yeah.
That's so good. Leveraging current fame to make the lies of your youth true is... It's so good.
It's dastardly.
Oh,
and fun. Yeah.
It is nefarious in the best possible way.
Man. Before I forget, you and I were BSing over the weekend, and we just it was last Wednesday. We were discussing Wolverine and Sabretooth.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That.
Yeah.
And I made that realization that Sabretooth is essentially the Kurgan.
Yes.
Yeah, and Jeff Ginzer's favorite character is Sabretooth.
Yeah.
What did he say?
He looked at me and his face just went super blank. And you could see him drift off, like his eyes went to that middle distance, and he goes, oh, you're right. And he really is. He is the Kurgan, which then puts us in the awkward position of the debate we had, which is Wolverine the Highlander? To which I unequivocally say, absolutely not. Because the Highlander accidentally does things wrong.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Wolverine will stop himself from accidentally doing things right.
Yeah.
His answer to everything is shoot it in the head. If he doesn't have a gun, it's stab it in the head. And that's very un-Highlander.
At least
him.
old Wolverine it was, yeah.
But even Old Man Logan.
Yeah, well, don't get me started on the Old Man Logan. Because, like, he was one character, and then he was another.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's too true. They went a bit far with the different writers there.
Yeah, because, essentially, I understand trying to have character growth, but sometimes your character is your character.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man doesn't need any more character growth because he's established. So
one would hope.
It's kind of like Superman. There's no need for growth. You have your character, have things happen around them. And,
Yes.
a lot of people don't realize, that's what you need to do. So they keep trying to change who they are and like, oh no, he learned compassion this week. No.
He's 200 and something years old.
Yeah.
Old dogs do tricks.
Yeah, it's come on now. But anyway. But yeah, I wouldn't say that Wolverine is Highlander, but he is an immortal, of that kind. So I mean,
Sure.
he would have tendencies like that.
Well, and also, as we're talking about like Sabretooth, that gets into the like, what is this, Claremont Sabretooth? Is this old Sabretooth, which was like
Was fabulous.
he was the best, and it cracks me up because he's a character of, oh, so what are his superpowers? Well, he's kind of a jerk. No, he's a super jerk, and he has fangs and claws. Okay.
And a big like fur collar.
Yeah, and a fur collar. Fur collars rival anything from Studio 54.
Yeah.
And
Like you can't tell me that Sabretooth didn't do copious amounts of cocaine.
oh, absolutely. There's probably you'd shake some out of the collar.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, well, that doesn't sound very powerful. Oh no. Like, I'm not saying he could go toe to toe with Galactus, but he'd be the first call I'd make. If Galactus was invading Earth, I would call up Claremont Sabretooth just to watch it happen.
Yeah, because like he had the healing factor that rivaled no one else. Like it was the, come on, man.
He literally he's Thory without the joviality.
Yeah.
Time for murder.
Yeah.
Murder now.
Yeah.
Okay. And you just send him on his way, and he just, whether you need like a particular person gotten rid of, or like a small population, or like one man genocide was Claremont Sabretooth. It was great. And then somebody gave him a conscience, and it was really interesting, and I enjoyed it. But I kind of want the return to like that Sabretooth that just, like he'd spit at a tank.
So I mean, if you haven't done your Age of Apocalypse, that's kind of the Sabretooth you got.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right.
But because like they made him way stronger than he typically is, and like he's like he's everything that Wolverine isn't. Like, but then again, you have like the loyalty that he has. Like he has such integrity in that book. It's so interesting to see that because he still has some of his other like tendencies that makes him him.
Sure.
But
well, that'll be maybe that'll be required reading for this week.
Yeah, definitely. But the where he turned from original Sabretooth to like the Sabretooth that most people know is in the Wolverine like ongoing series, where you start finding out more about Wolverine and why they hate each other, that kind of stuff. That's where you start seeing him have like the Kurgan tendencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
So, but yeah, I just wanted to touch on that just because it was it's interesting enough to share.
Also, Sabretooth's he's just one of those characters that if you're amongst comic book people, just pepper him into the conversation.
Yeah, well, because
and see who runs with that
one.
one.
And you'll see what era they read comics, because either they're gonna be like, oh yeah, Sabretooth, oh man, let's talk about Sabretooth, or their eyes gloss over because it's like, oh yeah, Wolverine stuck his claw through his head, and now he's some idiot on the X-Men lawn. You see that one where he peed himself? Yeah, everyone laughed.
That would actually make me really happy.
But
if he was just kind of the sad lawn boy for the X-Men.
No, I mean like they put like mittens and a muzzle on him, and they're like, go play in the yard, Sabretooth. I swear to God, there's an action figure of him, like where it has like the thing in
Lobotomized Sabretooth?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was a hypothetical.
No.
That is so good.
No, over in issue 50, he popped the metal claw in his head, and Sabretooth didn't heal like automatically from it or what. It was really weird.
Do you know why I love comics?
Yeah.
That is why I love comics. Because somebody went, he's taking a lot of head trauma. Is he eventually going to be slightly vegetal?
Yeah.
And they went, well, he can be.
Yeah.
Just you wait.
So, yeah, while he was kind of sort of messed up and starting to heal back up, like he almost became part of Generation X, and then, then they're like, no, evil again. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was a crazy tangent that we went off on.
Indeed.
Worthwhile.
Yeah. So let me pull back to my list of things that I want to get to.
Yeah.
You go to the comic book conventions and you make the most of them. You have befriended many a creator.
I try to.
Yeah.
I try to. Some creators are more open to befriending than others. But yeah, I do enjoy going, and it's do you say never meet your heroes? Well, these are just people I like, so I think I'm safe. But yeah, I went to Planet in Kansas City. I went to Wichita, and then I'm planning on getting some in Dallas. And unfortunately, this summer is just stacking up. But yeah, had a great time in Planet. Got to meet. So I guess right off the bat was Claremont and Bob McLeod.
Yeah.
And they were side by side, and that was one of those that was a hard one for me.
Really?
Well, because what do you say to Chris Claremont?
What up, yo?
Pretty much. Pretty much that's it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what you say to Chris Claremont is thanks. Because you know what? He does 20 conventions a year. He's been in the business forever. He made everything that you care about. So that's really all I went with was thanks.
Yeah.
And then Bob McLeod, and of course, Chris Claremont is also a big personality.
Yes.
And he enjoys the attention. And I don't mean that as a disparaging way.
No, yeah.
He likes holding court.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are people like hey, you're being watched. Oh, hey, let me put on it. Yeah. I mean,
He's a little bit of one of them.
yeah.
And then Bob McLeod is everything but. And he was seated right next to Claremont.
Oh,
And so,
lucky him, right?
well, but because they're intrinsically tied, I brought my New Mutants #1 to get it signed by the writer and illustrator. Mm-hmm. Boom, right there, side by side.
Yeah.
2 birds, 1 stone. Got it. Good. And Claremont, he's heard it all before. He's said it all before. So we didn't really get a chance to connect. I didn't have anything unique to say to him, so I didn't expect to have any kind of deep connection.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. Bob McLeod, super nice. Thanked him for everything. The real gems at Planet were Scotty Young.
Which I think that's super cool.
Scotty Young is a great dude. I was a fan of his work before, and I am a profound Scotty Young fan now. Case in point, not to jinx it, a lot of people would charge for their autographs, which I think is a fair point. Scotty Young is like anything under 10 books is free. Come up if you like my stuff. Come up and get an autograph.
Yeah.
Wow,
Which
that's really cool.
yeah, I understand having that limit because when the times that I've met Gail Simone, it's here. Would you mind signing this thing? Hey, would you do this? I'm always behind someone who has a short box, and she is to a fault, too nice to her. Sure, I will sign 250 comics right before I see that guy with 1 comic.
Right?
Yeah.
That's when you tap that guy on the shoulder and just, hey, why don't you pick those up in a week?
Yeah. But
Gail is a lovely person.
Yeah.
And we don't need her getting carpal tunnel so that you can make $100.
Yeah, well, because every time it's always been the careful with that one, careful with that. And you're telling her to be careful in her own book,
right?
Yeah, whatever.
She wrote it.
Yeah,
she gets to do what she wants.
She should write on there damage inflicted by. Right?
No kidding, right?
If I made a thing I'd be like, oh, let me just take that corner taken by Buck Berlin.
Seriously, absolutely, and that's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
But no, Scotty was great, and then right before, so I was in line and I had my books, and I went with a buttload of Scotty Young books.
Yeah,
because I love his variant covers. I mean, he did the first Run the Jewels cover.
Yeah,
and it's the the Deadpool with the gauntlet.
Yeah, for
Deadpool 45, Death of Deadpool.
For those watching, we can throw up a cover right here.
Sorry, I did my best.
Yeah. So Brad has to edit these things. So thanks, Brad.
Anything for Run the Jewels, I'm down.
You know what? I bet they'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
I mean, what's Run the No,
don't you do it? Don't you do it, Buck? Do you want to go home tonight?
Yes.
Then don't get me started on a Run the Jewels tangent. You think comics tangents are bad?
No, I think they're great. That's the whole idea behind this thing.
But fair point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a whole stack of his books, and then Scotty goes, so I go to step up and he goes, hang on a second. And he was super nice about it. I was like, yeah, I don't care. I'm not going to get fussy about this. I turned, and it was a girl who had cosplayed as Gert, the main character from I Hate Fairyland.
Yeah.
And she'd done a great job with the outfit. And he went, yeah, you dress up as a character I create, you go to the front of the line. And everybody went, yeah, no, that's a really good point. And so she had a little foam axe.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he signed that for her. And he took pictures with her.
Oh.
And I went, front of the line, huh? Maybe I ought to get in on this. He goes, you'd make a great Gert. And for those that are not aware, Gert is an 8-year-old girl with big, curly, bright green hair and a little pink and yellow dress. It is the stuff of nightmares to put this in that.
You will see Jason Watt dressed up as Gert at New World Comic Con July 20th.
You know what? If you get Scotty Young there, I'll do it.
We'll have a picture of him there.
Then you might have a picture of Jason Watt as Gert.
I mean, it's an even trade. That's dumb.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing you tape up in your kid's closet when they won't go to bed. That is the monster in there. You thought it was something with teeth and fangs. No, something with a green wig and a beard. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Scotty Young was absolutely delightful. And then at Wichita, that was when I actually first met Cullen Bunn.
Yeah.
It's super cool guy. Love his work. He's done a lot of really fun stuff. And yeah, I talked about As Guardians of the Galaxy earlier. Thanked him for that.
Which did he get into like how that came about, or
we didn't really kind of get into that?
Really?
And, yeah, I know.
Man, I would
believe it or not, we ended up talking about a lot of other stuff, mainly making fun of Jeff Yenzer.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, there's a lot there.
That onion has many layers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jeff. I love you, buddy.
I'm not. No, I'm joking. I love the guy. Yeah.
But the one I was really excited about was at Wichita. I got a chance to meet Greg Smallwood.
Really?
And he is the nicest guy. And he was there with his wife.
Yeah.
Who is just as you know, because
they actually did a signing here.
Yeah.
And because anytime that we get the in-store signing, I'll ask, but never demand if someone will draw my super awesome sketchbook.
And it is super awesome.
We'll do an episode on some of my treasures at some point, and I'll show some of these off. But one of my favorite my favorite comic book characters is Zatanna. So I said, man, would you mind doing a Zatanna for me? So he said, sure. And he looks over at his wife and starts drawing. And it's wonderful.
It is. It's a great Zatanna.
Yeah.
He can jump back and forth between styles very well.
Right. Well, and I thought that I would be getting comic book art. The line art, not shaded drawing.
Oh no, you get your money's worth with him.
Yeah. Oh man.
He did a Mr. Knight for me.
Yeah.
That's great. And then he did a Mr. Miracle. That's great.
Well, and he was talking man, when I was drawing Mr. Knight, I was I don't think that anyone would ever be able to cosplay this. And I said, oh, well, here's how you do the mask. And he says, oh my God.
Oh yeah, that'd be real easy.
Yeah, well, but I mean, sort of. But it's all about the shading and
True.
That kind of thing. And he says, oh, I hadn't thought about that. It's essentially like drawing, but just trying to think of it in.
Ladies and gentlemen,
so
this guy makes 90 costumes a week. That's how he knows this.
Yeah. We won't get into all that.
But yeah, he was just the nicest guy on the planet. And he signed a bunch of books for me, and I'm super excited to have him. And he's got a really unique touch. I mean, he's the reason that I've started reading a bunch of stuff, including the current run of The Punisher, which I'm really grateful for. It's a really different run.
Yeah. So Matt Rosenberg is quickly becoming one of my favorite writers. So his Astonishing X-Men and his Punisher were coming out, and I was loving them. And I heard the concept, and on X-Men I saw the team, and I was like, I'm in. Let's do this. And then I was like, oh, I should probably follow the writer and see what. And I was like, oh, it's the same dude. Holy crap! And you know, not to be that guy, but like, I'm pretty sure that he and I would be best friends.
I mean, probably. Probably.
Well, because like it's you know the Punisher thing was like every logical step that you would take with Punisher getting you know like a knockoff War Machine suit.
Oh yeah.
All of that happened, and it had the definite like beginning, middle, and end, like logical end to him having the suit, and then his other series took up right from the okay. So you had a really cool thing, and it's gone now. How about all those people you pissed off?
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah. At some point, spoiler alert, he helps engineer a prison break, and it is take a moment, close your eyes. Think about how the Punisher would engineer a prison break. It's so much better than that.
Which I mean, it sounds like like the exact opposite of what he would do.
Yeah,
But you know,
no, it's not different. It's just better than you could imagine.
right? And the reasoning behind it is that all right, that checks out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it totally checks out.
yeah,
And yeah, of course, he on the spot went, "Oh yeah, I know how to do all that.
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I've already researched all of this. Sit down, grab a notepad. We're going." Yeah, so that the current run of Punisher also wonderful. And then you'd asked about comic creators. I can't overlook the very first comic creator I ever met personally.
Yeah.
And that was because I hail from the little town of Yorba Linda, California, which is home to Rob Liefeld. And Rob was a regular at the Starbucks that I worked at.
Oh.
And he was everything that has ever been said about that man is true.
Everything?
Everything. Good,
So-
bad, and ugly.
So he's awesome and awful?
Yes.
Interesting.
He is. I you know what? In case Rob, in case you ever see this, yeah, I said that. But you know what? He doesn't. He's a known enough name, and I kind of get it. Like, I'm the barista. I'm standing between him and his grande no whip mocha frappuccino. I bet you he's still drinking those. But that's how many of those he drank. It's been a decade. I still remember this. So me going, hey, you made Deadpool. The only acceptable answer after a certain amount of time is, yeah. 385? 385. Got it. But then at a certain point, like, I got to know him, and I got to know his kids, and then he was a super cool guy, and he would, like, he'd bring in his buddies, and, like, I'd get to know their drinks, and, like, they'd joke around, and I'd get to give them all crap, and, like, you know, it'd be a random day. He's like, oh, good, you're working? Hang on. And he'd run out to his car, and he'd come back in. And so, like, I've got a really nice hardcover Onslaught Reborn done by him and Jeff Loeb, signed by him. Wow. That he did he's like, oh, yeah, I was thinking about you, and I got this the other day.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And, like, I've got a couple of Youngbloods books that he did, that he signed for me.
Yeah.
So he's a really cool guy once he decides that he likes you.
Well, and I've heard, like, once he decides that he doesn't, like, you're done.
You're probably dead to him forever.
So there's one of our customers, Eric, that collects and has collected since before, like, Deadpool's popularity. Like, he liked Deadpool before he was cool.
Hey.
But has every appearance of Deadpool ever, plus every variant cover ever.
That's a significant collection.
Yeah, he has every Deadpool figure ever. He has he stopped with the T-shirts and posters.
That's fair.
Because there's too much of it, and there's too many, like, little variations.
Yeah.
Like, it's do you get the same image on every different color shirt?
Right.
Or, it's okay, yeah, anyone can point-click print on, your shirts. So, any significant thing, like if there's a special Deadpool shirt or something, he'll get that. But
he doesn't count that towards his collection.
Right.
I get that.
And he's commissioned Liefeld for, like, original art too. But he's blocked him on Twitter, like just asking, genuine things, and Liefeld takes it as like, oh, he's being a jerk to me. You're being creepy. You're doing this, and it's no, man. So, like, it's.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I started my collection, the other thing that my wall hinges around is I've got New Mutants 87. So first appearance of Cable.
Yeah.
Cable 1. Cable and Deadpool 1. Deadpool Circle Chase. New Mutants 98.
Yeah.
So I got the 5 block of the Cable to Deadpool thing.
Right.
And I went, I would love to have this autographed by Liefeld. I would keep this forever. And I went, you know what? Let me see if I can leverage some of my former cachet, and maybe he'll remember me and be willing to just have me ship him the books. And like, so I sent off an email, and it was like, hey, I don't know if you remember me, big bearded guy, I used to work at Starbucks at blah, blah, blah. No response.
Oh.
Then I emailed again, no response. And it's like, dude, I jump-started your car. Like,
Oh.
I know that this isn't an order, but you could hit me back with like, hey, man, money to time.
Yeah.
Send me the 5 books and throw a Franklin in there, and we got a deal.
Well, so what he does with those particular books is like he has I think a $15 flat rate for any book that he signs, except for those books, and I think it's like $100 for your first Deadpool or whatever,
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, because he says that if you're going to make money off this book, then I'm going to make money off this book. Because he hadn't made enough money off that book, so
Yeah, I have my own stance on creators leveraging that.
you know, I got the issue of Captain America signed by him, where you can see it's the profile picture, and you can see all the points on the star. So take that as you will. And I smiled real big while he was signing it. He knew.
If for anyone who's wondering,
He knew.
just Google image Liefeld Captain America.
Yeah.
And it's the one that makes you squirm.
Yeah, and like it's one of those where he has been trying to improve his art. Like he used to be just like
He's a noteworthy
Rob,
artist.
what are you doing? And now he's like, okay, so all right, everyone was kind of right about that. So let's include some feet. Let's do this. Yeah. So,
Like I said,
Let's not just put clouds everywhere.
let's not just put clouds in front of feet.
yeah.
So
I mean, he's an easy target. The fact of the matter is,
right, and like I hear for the most part he's a really cool guy, except for when he's not. And it's the dude. What are you doing?
I mean, dude casts a big shadow.
Yeah, and any convention that you go to, he has the longest line of anyone there.
Oh yeah.
Like easily.
Oh yeah, without
So,
a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, you could put him up against just about anybody else who's alive as of this podcast,
Yeah.
and they would probably pale in comparison.
Right.
I mean, yeah, he casts a long shadow. He's an important guy. He's easy to take pot shots at, but the truth is, if you love comics,
He's probably
you owe some of that to him.
Yeah. So, Jason, we're going to go down some trades to recommend, just because we're starting to run out of time, because you and I can chew the fat for hours.
That's true, and have.
Literally, figuratively.
That's true.
Yep.
Brazilian barbecue.
Oh man. This was no accident.
It's true. It's I wasn't bitten by a radioactive fat guy.
Yeah. I mean,
I came by this honestly.
I may have been, but that's a whole different story. That's stupid.
Oh, college.
All right. So, what are some of your favorite trade paperbacks?
Mr. Miracle.
Yeah?
Gotta say it.
Yeah. Have you ever read Planetary?
Yes, Bug, I sure have.
Listen. You can't be on this podcast and not
Like we
say
just
one
we
without
have
the
to
other.
talk about it.
No. I mean, well, it's planetary. It's
It's like the greatest comic story ever told.
if you've read it, then you get it. If
Yeah.
you haven't, then you go, I don't know about that. And if you're on the fence of reading Planetary, shut up and read it.
I mean, sometimes people need to read it more than once, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because it's the second time that
Like
that
you
read
start
it, you're like,
getting more things.
Yeah, 'cause,
you're
like,
oh,
yeah, halfway
okay.
through you're like, oh, they're the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's all that
and
little.
The main characters aren't the Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four's the bad guys. I love the Fantastic Four, but they make excellent bad guys.
They make the best bad guys.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Oh.
And
at being bad.
Jacob Green, whenever they're like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
oh yeah. No, Planetary is astoundingly good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Miracle, same thing. I read it. I have every first printing.
Yep.
I have every variant.
Yeah, you have every iteration of the book that there is.
Yeah, I fanboyed out on that real hard, and I'm proud of it.
As well you should be. It's one of the greatest things written in comics.
It genuinely, it's one of the, it's going to go down as an all-time great. It got mentioned a little bit earlier. I know it's been mentioned on the podcast before. Fractions run of Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That one's, it's a must-read.
Yeah.
One that I mention it, I recommend it to people, and then I sell them out of it, but I mean it as praise. Low.
Yeah.
Rick Remender, he's working with Toshini, does the art, and it's beautiful, and it is just a gut punch of a story.
It's very Grant Morrison-esque if you take some of the weird and put some passion into it.
Yeah, it's a brilliantly written story. The world building is absolutely incredible, and about every 5 minutes, someone comes along and punches you in the stomach. And then at the end of each trade, they see you balled up on the ground and they kick you a couple of times. And then you start up a new trade and you're sitting again, and it just happens over again. It sounds awful, but it is so beautiful and so not for kids. Don't let the little ones read that one. But it is really, really great. And then I'm trying to think of any other. And then Saga. If you haven't read Saga, again, that's how you're doing it wrong. It's apparently we're only halfway through.
Yeah.
And-
108 issues.
Yeah, holy smokes.
And we're at like 54.
54.
54,
We're at
yeah.
the halfway point.
Yeah, so you have a little over half a year left to get through it for the next issue.
Yeah, for the next issue to come out.
Yeah,
Never
because-
mind that there's 54 more, or AKA 9 trades.
Well, because he says that he'll do 4 trades and then take a year off or something like that, or take a break.
If he takes another 1 year break, he is going to crack my will to live.
Yeah. It's going to be something else.
But yeah, he is, because Brian Kivon with Fiona Staples.
Yep.
That was what was coming to happen. It sounded wrong in my head. It's just a dream team,
Oh yeah,
and it is everything you love about. Honestly, I kind of think of it a little bit like everything you love about the first 5 or 6 seasons of Game of Thrones. Of like, it's great storytelling. It takes an interesting tack on something that you already know, and they're not afraid to inject unforeseen tragedy, or hilarious comedy at really inappropriate points.
and anytime that you think, oh well, I would like to see this go the conventional way, they'll change it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So those would be my recommended trades.
interesting. So you're going to be here on Free Comic Book Day recommending stuff.
Oh yeah, I will.
Yeah, and I'm having you read some stuff that you normally haven't read.
Sure.
So I think the thing that I'm going to send you home with tonight is the Jeff Smith's Shazam and the Monster Society of Evil.
Cool.
It is one of the most adorable things you'll ever read.
Well, I just saw the movie.
It is
so.
the best Shazam thing that you'll read. It is
Perfect.
so great. I know you're reading the single issues of Man-Eaters, but if you know any women at all, this is the thing to recommend to.
Yeah, I just finished Man-Eaters.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to be. Last year it was Beauty that I was recommending, and
Yeah.
this year it'll be Man-Eaters.
Which I literally just read Beauty last night.
Yeah, Beauty was my my book of the year last year. To like, hey, do y'all want something weird and quirky?
And amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why that's not currently on Amazon Prime. That'd be a great, 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
Or 3-part miniseries.
It's so
It'd be
cool.
so
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But Man-Eaters, that's another one where no way that doesn't get optioned for a show.
Yeah.
It is too much fun. I wouldn't call it young adult, but you know what? If you've hit puberty, it's for you.
It's very mature young adult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Teenage boys are gonna hate it, but teenage girls it's written for them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's satirical and it's the little things in Man-Eaters of There's ads in it.
Yeah.
But the
The
ads,
posters are so amazing. I want all of the posters.
right? They're so good.
I was taking pictures of all the posters and I sent them all to Bronson.
Yeah, he was like, she kept sending me these posters. And,
He's like, where are you coming up with these?
well, yeah, and he yeah. So, yeah, he was like, have you seen this? I was like, yeah, it's in this book, Man-Eaters. He said, well, Stephanie keeps sending it to me. So, yeah. So,
yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's
Like to one
Well
of them,
done.
he's like, that's not FDA approved.
but yeah, so Jason is going to recommend some of the best comics that you can possibly get here at New World Comics on Free Comic Book Day.
it's true. I'll be here and I'll be opinionated.
Yes, and I'll be here from 9 a.m. to 9 a.m. May 4th through May 5th. Stephanie will be here for most of that.
Yeah, probably, 16 hours. We'll see
Yeah,
what happens.
I'm just saying, she'll probably leave and then come back.
Yeah.
It happens. But Jason, thank
Yeah.
you so much for being part of this.
Yeah, I had a great time. I
Oh,
mean,
man.
I'm always happy to sit and talk at length anytime there's someone to listen.
Excellent.
So, no, I love the podcast. I love the shop. I mean, and I don't think for people that don't come here all the time and really realize, like, it's not a comic book shop that you've created, man. It's not like this isn't a place where business happens.
I mean, if you ask certain people, you're right.
You like your accountant?
oh.
Zing. No, but this I really do want to take a minute and touch on, like, having been a barista at Starbucks, they always had this idea of the third place, and it's your first place is your home, your second place is your work, and your third place is that other thing that becomes a part of you.
Interesting.
And so this is, for a lot of people, the third place. And so you've got a community here that you fostered that's an internal community.
Yeah.
And then you've done some really cool stuff like Superhero School and, going and doing reading days at schools that you're also expanding into the community at large. So, like, really and truly, man, thank you for what you do here.
Well, sure.
I may be a recent convert. I know a lot of people have been coming here since they could read, apparently. AD makes you sound like a late bloomer, dude. But really and truly, like, it's you provide a very valuable service to the community.
Well, thanks.
And so does everyone who's a part of it. So
Yeah, I-
thank you for what you do. Disembodied voice Brad, thank you for what you do.
Yes.
Everybody but Tom. Tom, no one likes you.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get to the final point.
The
but-
final point
yeah,
being what it is.
Yeah, we won't.
No, love you, Tom.
Yeah,
You'll
you'll never listen to this at all, but you will see his picture right here. Oh
Yeah.
insert a picture of literally anyone.
no!
Ross Perot would be great.
I'll show you what we put the picture in.
I've seen the 404 file not found.
Yeah, well, so on previews, anytime Diamond doesn't have what we're looking
Yeah.
for, or like, hey, here's this variant cover that you need to see the picture of, and they don't have, it's like preview image not found. That's what we use.
Perfect.
I hate it so much. But yeah, so since Tom doesn't want his picture shown,
Perfect.
there it is. But if you want to see Tom, come by the store and just stare him down. Be all weird about it, too. Don't
Real
tell him.
weird.
Yeah.
A little creepy. Little touchy. Not too much.
No.
Not the bathing suit areas.
No,
Yeah,
we can't
please
say that.
Don't harass Tom. We need him to work here.
Harass him a little. Anyway, Jason, thanks again for being part of this.
Thank you.
Stephanie, thank you so much for putting up with all of our
Yeah.
shenanigans. And Brad, thanks for putting this whole shindig together.
You're welcome.
And we'll see you all next week.